Half-Russian teenager Alya Kujou is admired at school for her beauty and aloof charm. She often teases her classmate Masachika Kuze about his lazy demeanor, sometimes pretending to insult him in Russian. Unaware that Masachika learned basic Russian as a child to communicate with a Russian girl. Fully aware of her flirtations, Masachika has secretly harbored a crush on Alya since she joined his school, but doubts his worthiness and tries to suppress his feelings. Alya, however, seems smitten with him, constantly flirting in Russian, leaving Masachika both flustered and frustrated. She serves on the student council alongside her older sister Maria and her rival Yuki Su, whom Alya envies for her long-standing friendship with Masachika and her efforts to get him elected. One morning, while alone in class, Alya needs to change her wet socks and dares Masachika to help her put on dry ones. He accepts, but accidentally brushes his hand against her skirt, prompting Alya to kick him in the face, an incident that awakens a new obsession for Masachika. She eventually forgives him, only to realize he also glimpsed her underwear during the scuffle, causing her to punch him and flee. Masachika chases her until she runs out of breath, then apologizes for the mishap. She admits she needed a moment to cool off and forgives him, resuming her playful Russian flirting, much to his exasperation. Yuki introduces Masachika to student council president Tuya Kanzaki as part of her plan to get him on the council. During this, Masachika discovers that Alya intends to run for council president next year. Back at his home, it's revealed that Yuki is actually Masachika's younger sister with a different family name, something she has no intention of revealing to Alya or anyone else, simply enjoying the fun of teasing others. While shopping together, the siblings notice Alya secretly observing them. Yuki then invites Alya to join them for lunch at the city's spiciest ramen restaurant, a favorite of the two. Alya stubbornly accepts, despite the fiery ramen nearly overwhelming her, all while Yuki mischievously teases her about how close she is to Masachika in his bedroom. In Russian, Alya timidly wishes Masachika would support her as vice president. Later, with Yuki gone on an errand, Alya takes Masachika clothes shopping, bravely trying on outfits for his opinion. She enjoys his compliments so much that she begins testing increasingly daring outfits, ultimately embarrassing herself in a short skirt just as Yuki unexpectedly returns. Her shock lasts through the entire train ride home, only fading when she realizes that Masachika and Yuki got off at the same station, hinting that they live close to each other. Alya returns home to find her sister Maria teasing her about Masachika. A glimpse of Alya's childhood in Russia shows her dedication to schoolwork clashing with classmates who barely tried. After moving to Japan, she first meets Masachika and is immediately annoyed by his laziness, until the school festival is announced. To her surprise, Masachika throws himself into the preparations, rallying even the lazier students to help. Thanks to his efforts, the school allows everyone to stay overnight for festival preparations, including a bonfire and dance. Once the festival is over, Alya confesses her dislike for the nickname Princess, which implies she was born privileged. She thanks Masachika for his hard work and grants him the privilege of calling her by her personal nickname, Alya, rather than her full name, Alisa. Maria, observing this, is convinced that a romance is brewing between them. The next day, Maria goes shopping with Masachika on council business and can't shake the feeling that she knows him from somewhere else. While shopping, a memory of his parents' divorce unexpectedly surfaces for Masachika, and Maria instinctively hugs him. The embrace feels strangely familiar to him, but it ends abruptly when she accidentally spills hot tea on him. Masachika tells Tuya that he feels unworthy of joining the student council, since his middle school council involvement was motivated by selfish reasons. Tuya dismisses this, admitting he only became president to impress Chisaki. Inspired by this honesty, Masachika considers joining, but solely to help Alya become council president. Alya is tasked with mediating a dispute between the soccer and baseball clubs, but her inexperience leads to failure. She begins to doubt her ability to be a good president and even regrets how her perfectionism has affected others. Hearing her crying in Russian, Masachika intervenes, cleverly guiding the club managers, who are secretly dating, into resolving the dispute themselves. Alya is impressed by his insight. Despite knowing Tuya manipulated him, Masachika agrees to join the council to support Alya's presidency. Alya, now falling even more for him, confesses her feelings without using Russian. However, something about her words reminds Masachika of the Russian girl from his childhood, breaking the moment. Frustrated, Alya slaps him, but immediately forgives him and even kisses the cheek she struck. When she walks away without speaking in Russian, Masachika is left uncertain about the meaning of their conversation, and Alya herself is confused by why she confessed. Maria bluntly tells her it's because she's in love with Masachika, but Alya stubbornly denies it. Maria then advises her to confess before another girl claims him, subtly hinting at a possible love triangle. Yet Alya remains oblivious to her meaning. Masachika struggles with the possibility that Alya might truly have feelings for him, but convinces himself it must have been a ploy to recruit him into the council. He pushes his own emotions aside. When he gets home, he accidentally walks in on Yuki naked. Instead of getting angry, Yuki reveals she staged the whole scene as a strange apology for pressuring him to join the council. Yuki becomes irritated when she learns he plans to support Alya's run for president and, assuming he's doing it because of Alya's figure, declares that they are now rivals both in love and in the presidential race. Secretly, she's relieved that Masachika seems motivated again. Alya begins to notice small changes in Masachika's behavior and wonders if it means he's genuinely serious about supporting her. After her half-confession, Masachika becomes increasingly aware of Alya's subtle moments of charm, deepening his crush. This only intensifies when she starts showing open concern for him, until she discovers his strange behavior that morning was mostly due to him skipping breakfast. Alya promptly returns to treating him with her usual coldness, which Masachika finds oddly reassuring. At their first council meeting, Maria immediately senses that something has shifted between Alya and Masachika. Masachika is appointed General Affairs Officer, but he openly admits that his real priority is helping Alya become the next president. Yuki and Alya are paired together for council work, and Yuki immediately tells Alya she loves Masachika, pushing Alya to admit her own feelings. Alya refuses to accept them outright, but still declares she won't let Yuki take Masachika from her. Yuki finds this declaration adorable and hilarious in equal measure. Back in the council room, Alya sits noticeably closer to Masachika, flustering him. Maria jokes about marriage, and while Alya denies it in Russian, Masachika realizes her denial is based on thinking she's too young. The thought stings him more than he expects. He also senses rising tension between Alya and Yuki, assuming they're quietly at war over him. Later, at a cafe where Alya is working on her presidential campaign, Masachika explains that Yuki simply enjoys teasing people. He also warns Alya about the upcoming general meetings, where candidates must debate and solve serious issues. Yuki already has strong popularity, but defeating her in a public debate would greatly boost Alya's chances. Alya, however, can't concentrate. Instead, she pressures him into an indirect kiss by insisting he try her ice cream with her spoon. They both end up embarrassed in front of the entire cafe, but Masachika still manages to advise her to earn voter sympathy, much like President Tuya did by losing weight and improving his grades during his own campaign. To fix the spoon situation, Masachika orders his own food. Alya stubbornly tries a bite of his meal, despite his warning about the chilies, and spends the rest of the evening suffering for it. The next day, Yuki introduces her potential vice president, Ayano Kimishima, leaving Masachika worried and Yuki thoroughly entertained.